Welcome to another episode of Inspired Voices. My name is Oliver Riera, and this is Matt Ain't White.
Hello.
Should I introduce you as Matt Ain't White or just Matt White?
I like Matt White, but it depends. Don't matter.
Well, you ain't white, that's for sure.
I know I ain't.
Why don't you tell everybody what you do?
I am a comedian. I like to say a comic artist because I don't just play in one field of comedy. Stand up, improv, and sketch comedy. Little jack of all trades in all the comedy realms, but I'm around in these areas. I'm in these streets. I'm on these stages. You know what I'm saying? I'm cutting up. You know?
Hooah! Just maybe do that. No, it's full circle though. I mean, you're doing sketch, you're doing improv, fucking stand up. Did I say sketch?
Yeah, you did. You said it first. Yeah.
So that's the trifecta right there.
The trifecta. It's the rock of comedy. The Triforce.
That's right. You have a special place in my heart.
And same to you. You are the love of my life if I was gay.
That's true.
We found that out years ago.
Yeah. And we were looking up, what is it, zodiac sign compatibility. And apparently we would be perfect together if we were. Apparently we match up. We link up. Yeah. We dock. Yeah. Left and right titty together.
Yeah. Boom, boom. So I'm the bigger titty. He's the smaller titty.
Little bit. You have a special place in my heart because you are the one that you're like my guinea pig.
Yeah, it keeps me in a little cage. Only gives me enough water.
Yeah, to nipple it out. There you go.
Okay, I wouldn't do that, but when the lights off.
When I have new things going on, I wanted to experiment and I wanted to try it out, just like this podcast. I call you first.
Yeah,
just to test things out and see how things go and see how I can tweak things before I actually release them out. So you are technically the first guest that I've recorded.
Yes, technically, I am the first. But also, I mean, I've seen different variations and versions of this. I mean, guinea pig works.
Yeah,
it works.
Yeah, testing things out. You know.
Yeah. I'm the tester. I'm the person that I'm like the kings and queens back in the day when they had testers for their food. This is your electronic tester. So
I like that.
I'll get shocked, but I probably ain't gonna die.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, now I ain't tasting no food for him. Nope.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, I cook some pretty good food.
Not flying.
Oh yeah, not flying. Yeah, you're a picky fucker.
It's the consistency for me.
Consistency.
It's not anyway.
Well, okay, I won't go there. So you're a comedian. We all know this. I know your whole life. I feel like, and so I wanted to switch things up this episode and talk about more of the future and like kind of what's going on now and stuff like that. So, a quick rundown, I guess, for the people watching, for the ones that don't know you. You're a comedian. You have 7 siblings. Is that right?
Yes, 7 siblings on my mother's side. I have 4 more. I think actually 5. I think on my father's side. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't talk about them. Not saying I don't like them. We try. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot to bring up, and then I get a lot of confused faces. Like what? It's like yeah. Okay. I was an uncle when I was born, so that was weird.
Interesting.
It's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
It's weird, like, growing up. Like, I love them, though. Like, it was weird growing up with, like, nieces and nephews, or at least nephews that, like, you looked up to. You know, it's like,
right.
I learned DMX lyrics just so I could sit at the lunch table.
Yeah.
Or the breakfast table with my nephew so I could be cool.
Yeah. That's always interesting.
Yeah. Ooh. My bad.
A little puppy bark.
That's going to give it to you. No, for real.
That's it.
But I don't know, that was weird. But it sparked a memorization process in me when you think about it. Okay, all I gotta do is practice these things over and over again. So the comes down to the jokes and stuff like that. Oh, this is what I did with those DMX lyrics. I do this to the joke. So
Yeah. You're a comedian aficionado. I feel like you know a lot, and the technical things. I learned a lot. I feel like I know so much about stand-up just from being around you. And like explaining all the technical aspects of what goes into it and stuff like that.
Which no one wants to learn the technical aspects of it, which I'm finding out. I teach classes too, which is funny. It's funny teaching the classes because no matter how many people come in there, they all got their own agendas. And I never know that, or I never know what their agenda is.
Yeah.
And they never play off of my agenda, was just literally teaching them the craft.
Do they have an agenda coming in?
Oh, no, they do.
Yeah.
Like all of them, majority of them, because I don't know, when you look at comedy, you think it's story based. It seems a lot of it is story based. I mean, but you got the ones that are storytellers, but also you got the ones that this thing seems like a story, but it's clearly them telling jokes.
Yeah.
But it just seems like a story because how they just keep it going. And a lot of times that's not written right away.
Gotcha.
It's like it's written over time and it's kind of added on over time versus just being like, I want to write this story. I want to make this story funny. Let me do this. Most people come in with funny stories, and
Because that's what they know, right?
that's what they know. But also, they don't realize that funny story is more than 5 minutes of time. I'm trying to teach you how to put together a 5-minute routine that bases off of you, makes the audience know who you are in that first 5 minutes. That's a very valuable thing in stand-up.
I would have thought that was flipped the other way. Like if they have jokes, but they're only like 20, 30 seconds long.
But they're not jokes. That's what I'm saying. They're not jokes. Like most of my ideas are like, it's weird to play off of because these things I think are funny. And when you start out, it's yes, these are things that I think are funny. But also you got to figure out how to get somebody else to laugh at it. And until they laugh at it, it's not funny. It's just one of those things. Until they laugh at it, it's not funny. So
Yeah.
no matter, I could think something is funny until somebody else laughs at it. They gave me that, like, they got to agree that, okay, we also do find this thing funny.
Yeah. Do you think it's hard to date comedians?
It is. It's extremely hard to date a comedian because you're constantly, unless you agree to not, like, challenge each other or agree to disagree because, I don't know, it depends on the aspect. Like, whoever's higher up in the relationship before the relationship starts doesn't matter. But once the relationship starts, whoever's higher up or whoever's getting, okay, you got some juice now. Oh, you got some juice now. It's if the other person is not getting any juice, there's sometimes I come across there's a little jealousy in it, which not saying I'm not particularly that type of person because I like helping the other person. Ideally, I would like to date a comedian if all of that stuff was taken out of it.
Yeah.
If the jealousy, like this or that, is taken out of it because I know they are the only, I won't say they, but that type of person in that type of, that industry, people working late, people doing a lot of different odd stuff. There's no rhyme or reason to your schedule. So that type of person fits well with my lifestyle.
Yeah.
But if that the competitive thing, we can be competitive by making each other better, but not being competitive by saying who has this and who has that and who has this. Because to me, at the end of the day, we both got this. So if we're a team, what you have, I have. Not in the sense saying that I'm trying to brag off of it, but if I support you, what you have, I have.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at it that way and what I have, you have. If we're supporting each other, I mean,
Yeah.
there's some comics that make it work. There's a lot of comics that, create material off of it, but.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think it's hard, definitely, for sure. Especially if they're a new comic.
Yeah.
Because they're constantly trying to fish for those jokes and stuff like that.
Everything is funny. Now, everything, I should write a joke about this. I should write a joke about this. I'm not saying that certain things are off limits, but if you're in a relationship with a comedian, there are certain things that you don't want to put on stage because it's a weird thing. Like, the more you hear this person say this joke about you, like, you can help them write this joke. But the more you hear this person say this joke about you, it changes over time. Like, so you can begin to resent it.
Right.
And you sign up off of it. It's like, no, it's cool. You can joke this, but you can resent it. You can think they're trying to do something differently. It changes, especially when you hear people laugh at it over and over again. And let's say if it's their one of the best jokes.
Yeah.
Like you're that person that's the butt of the joke,
Right.
instead of them. So
Yeah, you gotta have like thick skin. And stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah, it has to stay thick. Like it has to kind of like rhinoceros thick.
I think that's probably a good rule for dating any comedian, even if you're not a comedian yourself.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
You gotta have thick skin dating a comedian.
Yeah. That's kind of like how thick is your skin right now?
Yeah.
So because if it ain't, I mean, it's weird though. Some comics are always on. Me personally, sometimes I'm pretty chill, like off stage. I'll think of stuff, but I keep it to myself sometimes. Depending on if I'm in a decent type of setting, or I'm in a setting where it's okay to share, like jokes and stuff like that. But I try to keep as much as I can. I try to keep that my comedic lifestyle separate from my other lifestyle. I'm not saying I'm living two different lives, but it just helps and to juggle it.
Oh, really? Interesting. I thought it would have helped.
It depends, like, because there's a lot of emotional people out there. So
Yeah.
and I don't talk about any of that. I don't talk about my relationship status at all
Gotcha.
in my jokes. So
That's true. I never heard you say that.
if I don't talk about it, I don't.
You haven't talked about me yet.
Huh?
You haven't talked about me.
I
yet.
do want to talk about you though. Speaking of the future, like, so I don't know how happy I just got. So no, I do because
I mean, you got some jokes, I'm sure.
no, I mean there were situations that happened,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I feel like they're funny now, but it's just like you're a very forgetful person.
Yeah.
And,
I guess.
I don't know how far we can go in the podcast, but
No,
I'll
go
just
for it,
say-
go for it.
I mean, at the apartment, like even like the last apartment we stayed in, it was a 1-bedroom, and it was funny to me because you had the living room, I had the bedroom, and I couldn't bring anybody back.
Oh, right.
Like I very rarely brought anybody back because there's this thing was like as soon as you walk in, like it's just one of the things, like that's you're observing in that way. Like so every time I walk in, like you to speak and stuff like that. So even if there was somebody that I didn't want you to see, like it would have been hard for me to sneak somebody in. Even if you were asleep, that's what I think the funny thing about it, because the lights was off, but you probably still see the person because of the light coming in and stuff like that. It was only brought somebody else. Like, oh, I didn't want nobody to see this, but I mean, I just thought it was funny because we were living together, and it was a 1-bedroom apartment. So yeah, I just moved in a 1-bedroom apartment with my roommate, and it's like, oh, you're in a relationship? No, it's just my roommate. It's like, I think playing off of that to me, that was something funny in that.
Yeah.
That's all. Man, there was a lot of other funny stuff too, but to me, that was funny in that.
Sure.
Even watching Pandemic Oliver was extremely hilarious to me.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because I know you for somebody that's okay. You've always had your shit together, and that's when I was like, oh my god, it was like whoa, like it was just like damn. It was like he's really lost right now.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that was the truth. But I also not really trying to joke it. But it's like, no, he's really lost right now. You can kind of see it because didn't know what to do.
Yeah. I mean,
He didn't even have much to do either.
I had like 5 streams of income.
Yeah.
And I went from, in 1 week, I lost all of it.
Yeah.
Lost all my jobs.
So yeah,
was
Pandemic
scary.
Oliver was freaking out. It was funny to me. It wasn't funny, but after we look at it, it's funny because of the difference. Seeing you like, I don't know, it's almost like seeing a homeless Oliver. You know, like, but like, cause you talked about you've been that way before, but it's almost like okay, got over these hurdles. Okay, a cool, calm. I got my shit together, Oliver now, and just like straight up to like, can you please spend some change? Like. I don't know. It was funny to me. It was funny to see that. It was interesting to see that. But that was kind of the truth of what the pandemic was. It's like it kind of brought that side out of so many people, and I'm just like still working.
Yeah, essential worker.
Still working, walking out in and out. Like, but it was weird because I couldn't relate. That's why even when we wrote that, I wrote that sketch about game night.
Yeah.
And like how people are freaking out and like jumping out windows, like just freaking out playing games and stuff just because everything was totally changed up. But I don't know, it was funny.
No, it was good. It was some crazy times. I mean, we lived together for what, 5 years?
Yeah. Yes, it was wild. It was wild.
Made it happen.
Yeah, we made it happen. We got through it.
Yeah.
I mean, worst comes to me. I don't know. It is what it is. Like, I ain't no shame in my game. It's like you had to live, regardless whoever had the living room or not. We said there's enough space, so we made it work.
Yeah, that's true. So you've been doing comedy for 20 years.
Yeah, I hate saying that because it's like I hate saying it. I don't hate saying it because I've lived it. I hate saying it because people haven't seen it. And
like they don't know you enough.
Yes. So like when you meet somebody for the first time and you tell them something, they don't believe it unless they see it and like go through it. And like, I don't know, I'm not carrying around a file cabinet of stuff. You know, I started back in here. Matter of fact, look at all these.
Yeah.
Look at that show. That's that show. That show. Like now, if you go where my office is, you can see all these other shows I've done, and you can go trace the dates back.
Right.
But it's just one of those things. People don't believe it, and they're getting more and more skeptical now because I'm not big. And they say, yeah, I've been doing comedy for almost 20 years, but I've only been saturated in one area.
Yeah.
And it's been constantly growing. It's like, but it's been on a big scale from the whole time.
Right. There has been improvements.
Yes. I mean,
if you look at it in the chart.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even to think about it, even tell somebody now, if I told somebody now, if you had to start your whole organization on campus, write a constitution. Let's see how long that takes. What do you mean? It's like, no, go figure it out. Because I had to, like, write a constitution, figure this thing out. And we'll also have pressure on you that so many other people saw something in you that you really didn't see and didn't really want to do. Like, I personally didn't want to do stand-up. Not saying I wasn't good at it. I just didn't want to do it because I knew it was hard. The sketch comedy was a little easier because of the acting thing. The improv was easier. The improv, oh my God, the improv is, once you get it, the improv, not saying it's the easiest thing, because you gotta free yourself a little bit in order to have fun with it. But once you free yourself and allow yourself to have fun with it, there's no going back.
Yeah, and like once you know the rules, you could break them. Yeah, and all that stuff. So.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that, I think that's another thing. Okay, get me on another little track. But the breaking of the rules, oh my God, people want to break the rules but don't want to learn them. Like learn them
you gotta
first.
you gotta learn first. Yeah.
But no one sees none of the growth or the experience. They think, okay, even I hate this when people say where it's because of your experience. Like, it happens all the time in my classes. I'm teaching, it's like, you do this because of your experience. It's like, no, it's not because of my experience. It's because one day I decided to accept that this is how I go about this. I didn't have experience with that at first. Yeah. But I made it clear to be like, all right, I'm going to do this now. Right. And I made that decision to accept it, and I've never looked back since. The experience is one thing, but also you have to allow yourself to get the experience. Yeah. Kind of got to open yourself up to get the experience. Sometimes all it takes is to open yourself up.
That's all it takes. Honestly. Yeah.
And then everything after that is experience.
You can't learn something if you're closed in. You know, especially like if you're in your head.
Yeah, mentally. And that's the biggest thing. Like, we're talking about future, man. The future is tough for me because even talking about this question, how long you been doing it? I've been doing it for so long, but also I haven't been doing it for so long. If you really look at it that way, I've been doing it each year. Is like I tackle something different sometimes. So the first couple of years were me running an organization on campus, trying to make that thrive, trying to build that collaboration and teamwork through these shows on campus, trying to build this audience on campus, setting a goal to once we pack up shows on campus, we're going to go off campus. So like, it was like almost a 3-step thing. It's like shows on campus, then we move off campus, and we still have shows on campus. But once we obtain both of those things, now we have shows on campus, shows off campus, and shows in the cities around us. So it's like, okay, that was a totally different type of, that's like almost like a traveling tour type mentality or something, like in terms of building it. But that's what the mentality was. It wasn't all just about being funny, but that's what I was looking to build then.
That's interesting because people, like, usually when they get into stand-up especially, they want to grow on their own kind
Yeah.
of thing instead of building all these different shows and stuff like that.
No, I needed people, but I knew that though. I knew I needed people because I don't know. I'm ultimately the sketch comedy thing was what I knew more of than anything else. So it's okay. I knew it took teamwork. Even in having a theater background, the tech theater or just acting background, that's teamwork. Like,
Yeah.
you don't get a play without the backstage people.
Facts.
That's what I'm saying. The actors ain't building that set. They
Shout out to the
designing
crew.
that
Shout
set.
out to the
That's what
crew.
I'm saying, like all day, the process. I just taught an improv workshop at ECU last week,
Yeah.
and we were talking about it. Me and one of the instructors there, professors there, we were talking about like the process, and I think that's where I learned the process from. I learned the process from the tech theater stuff because it's transferable. It goes from you need the behind the scenes stuff in almost every aspect of life. I mean, if you're a kid growing up, the behind the scenes people are your parents,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you don't have them, you don't really have a really good process, right? Even like a shout out to the orphans out there. I was like, I don't really know any, but shout out to them. It's like, do y'all thing. But even like that's why they don't have that process.
Yeah.
But they gravitate to people that teach them some type of structure, which is the structure is part of the process.
Yeah.
If there's no structure, then you can't recreate something, even in a business, even in a recipe. If there's no structure or any foundation in terms of what this thing is, you can't replicate it.
Yeah.
So,
Do you find yourself a little bit too structured sometimes?
in some ways, but not structured enough because I'm structured in the way of what I know, and moving forward in the future, I don't know what any of that is. So it's like I'm in the process of why I need to get an agent or a comedy agent or this representation for comedy. I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know the right way to do that. Everything else that comes before any of that, I'm cool on all that. But everything that comes after that, I don't really know anything.
Okay.
So that's one of the things where I'm saying, like, I've been in it for 20 years, but also I haven't been in it for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because I haven't made those steps, I have everything. I have, like I said, I literally have everything that I need to take those steps. I just need to take those steps. And that's why, to me right now, not saying it's one of the scariest things to do, but it is because it's unknown.
Yeah.
Everything else that I've done so far, or that I've been doing for the last 20 or more years, I figured it out and I know it. So I'm kind of like just living life based off of what I know I can do, this and that. Okay, some new stuff might come from here.
Yeah.
When this situation happens, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. But now it's in the process where I have to kind of like let it go.
Yeah.
Let go of what I do know, so that way I can grow more. Which is, I know that's pretty scary.
That's funny, man, because like I'm kind of in the same boat as far as like my life, where you know the things that you have to do, but in order to do those things, that you have to take like, it's almost like a big leap.
Yeah.
And like you have to like take all the nets out
Yeah.
and like just jump and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I am as well. So I definitely understand that. Is that the goal this year?
That is. I won't even say this year. That's the goal. The goal is I got to keep it as simple as possible. I got to start with representation, because in order for me, it's not saying I can't produce. I can't do an hour on stage. I can't do 45. I can't do 30. I can't do this and that. My show is my show. I can put my show together to showcase to somebody else, to say, hey, this is what I do. I'm confident of doing all this stuff. Because once you get in the door, then you got wiggle room.
Yeah.
But in order for me to get booked at certain places or certain clubs, other than like locally or just one nighters or just trying on my own, I have to get representation. Everybody, most of the people I've been following and watching, because I pay attention to it, like a majority of the people that get booked at a comedy club, they're not hitting up that comedy club themselves. There might be a small amount of people that's doing that, but majority of the folks that's getting on the calendar, there's somebody else hitting them up for
Yeah. I think it's time.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely time. Because everything's in place.
Yes.
And I feel like you're at a point where there's no other excuse that you can have but to do it, right? There's no other, I have to get this done first before I can do this, right? There's none of that.
Yeah. And it's right now, like, even from quitting the job from 3 years ago, it's all right. Since we're on the third year now, and I'm like, all right, we're on the third. Like, I feel like it was a few months ago that I quit.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there is.
That's like, we're on the third year now, and I was like, man, all right. The more I'm on my own trying to do like it, I have to do. I have to see what the unknown is. I have to go with it. So,
because you were getting some traction too, especially like, going out to LA and stuff like that, right?
I mean, even went out to LA last year. I had an opportunity to go out this year. I don't know if I'm gonna go out, but it was something that was already not scripted, but kind of put on the schedule last year. But I still got another opportunity to go out there.
Yeah.
I going to Chicago again this year. I need to go to New York, which I don't want to live in New York. That's just the biggest thing for me. I don't want to live in New York.
Yeah.
But I need to get. But this is the reason why I need the representation. I need the representation so is like the shows that I do, I get what I'm worth.
Right.
Versus trying to haggle with somebody that want me to do a show and there's no stage, there's no microphone. There's like, it ain't even set up right, but they haggling with me in terms of like trying to pay me for what it's worth. And I was like, what? Okay, technically this ain't worth nothing.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So like,
you have to come in and create the whole thing.
And that's exactly like me having the producing mentality I have and the background I have. You don't just get me as a comic, you get me as a producer as well. And if I want to like produce the show that way, it's like I'll bring other comics in. If you feel like this money ain't worth it enough, I'll bring a whole show in. But that's one of the things, like it's not about me bringing the whole show in. I got to get rid of that mentality of bringing the whole show in because I am the show.
Right. Yeah, you are the show.
So, and that's kind of got to get in that mindset of doing. Like I don't know. I feel like, I don't know what people think, but I feel like I am a very good team player. I feel like I work well with others, even if I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
Like if we disagree, we'll still be able to work together. Yeah. But it's like, I don't have to agree with you to work with you. So it's just one of those things. But also when like, you remember those writing sessions in the living room, like there's so much stuff that came out of that. That's just so much stuff that came out of that. And that wasn't even a thing that we even talked about doing.
Right.
Like it was just like, okay, well, all right, I got an idea of
if those sessions would have been recorded, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like that
because I would sit in just to watch.
Yeah,
and this shit would be hilarious.
They were hilarious. They were fun. I'm trying to get back to that. That aspect of, I don't know, creating, because I mean, we did a whole sketch show based off of it was, I forgot how many it was, but it was anywhere from like 8 to 10 of us that was just there, and we just did the whole what happens next. We wrote a sketch based off of what happens next, and each person just added something to it. We wrote it, and then we created a whole sketch show based around it, and we did 2 shows of it. Yeah. So it's like, all right, that came out of, no one planned it, other than the fact that all these people, okay, all right, we all fit together. Let's see what we can do. Let's create something else. Yeah. And I don't know, I think you got to have a team mentality in order for that to happen.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So,
and it's just about also like, placing yourself in what role do you have in that team and stuff like that.
And isn't it for the future? Like I'm totally comfortable with being a leader, which being somebody that not necessarily tells people what to do. I don't even want to say dictates, because I don't want it to like that shows people that people follow, in a sense, that people look up to. Like I'm totally fine with being in this role. I played it well. I was the captain of the football team, was leading plays. So it's like I even been leading my own life since middle school. Like since my 9th grade year, I've kind of been like controlling, kind of like leading where I go with stuff. Like I want to be comfortable with following, because I'm not a follower, But not saying I want to give up so much control, but you learn how to lead better if you know what they're going through.
Absolutely.
So it's one of those aspects.
What kind of things would you follow?
I mean, just giving up control, basically. To like and having something like, and it's essentially what it is me going into a place where I am not the person that people look up to. So like if I went to New York, that's what I'm saying. Like if I got representation and was able to like financially stable, you know what I'm saying, for like a couple months here and there, I can go to New York for like 2 to 3 weeks at a time and just hustle up there and just like what is it? Ear hustle, as people say. I can go to New York where some of these other comics are like, well, you're not even getting on stage, just going to these places because I know enough people that I can just go to these places. Even if I don't get on stage, just to be in the room, it's enough. Be in the room to pick up information. Unlike most people, it's like I ain't got to talk the whole time. I can just sit there and listen. If I'm in there and I'm supposed to be in there, I can just sit there and listen. Comes time to get on stage, I can still use this information. I'm a pretty good student as well, so I don't have to learn by doing. I can learn from others as well. Yeah. So, but put in that situation where I can go up there and I can just like, I don't know, learn from other folks versus being the one that's always doing the teaching.
What kind of comics do you look up to nowadays?
Who I look up to nowadays? It's, I don't know, it's still kind of.
I mean, it could be old comics too, but
just
in general, I guess.
I still have my favorites from back in the day, prior. Which I actually, be honest with you, I still need to go. I need to go back and watch his stuff because I used to watch it all the time for motivation. I need to go back and watch it because I haven't watched it currently in the position I am currently for like comedically.
Gotcha.
I watched it early on when I was trying to learn stuff and trying to like figure stuff out. Yeah. I haven't watched it since I figured things out.
Oh, yeah. You'll learn some new things.
So, and I totally see different stuff too. Prior, Eddie Murphy. It's funny. I watched Shane Gillis' set.
When he was here?
Not when he's here. When I met him when he was here a couple years ago. Because I had these lights. The lights went out at the old Goodnights. Oh, right. And I had lights, the little, I don't know what type of lights they are, but you can click them on and off. Anyway, yeah. I had some lights and they used them for the show. Gotcha. I brought them down and hooked them up and they used them for the show. But I met him. I ain't talked to him a lot, but I met him. But I didn't know too much about him other than the SNL thing. How he got fired for it, but didn't know too much about him. But started watching some of the stuff, and it's pretty funny. It's funny. It's like one of the reason why I like him is because he's animated. His face is animated. Like it's like he tells. Let me tell story. Like his face. Yeah. He has the I won't say that elastic face, but he has that the same type of thing that Jim Carrey has. Yeah. His face, he has it. Yeah. It's just he's not as physical as Jim Carrey. But he's still in that same kind of pedigree in a sense, which is why the sketch he is a sketch person. So, and he has his own sketch show too. I forgot what it's called. I think it's Gilly and Keys. Oh, I didn't know that. But yeah, that's why he wasn't just a stand-up. Gotcha. Okay. So, but
do you think the structure of comedy has changed?
I don't think the structure of comedy has changed. I think. I don't know. People play off of who they think people are. Way too much now than they ever did. Yeah. Before. So it's kind of hard to do jokes. It's kind of hard to the play off of anything.
Is that a Matt Rife?
No, I mean,
Did you consider him like playing off of what people think he is? Then they watch his show and it's like, oh, it's not like that at all.
So it's weird though because the thing about that, if we just talk about the Matt Rife, and this is my opinion on the Matt Rife situation, because he was doing comedy for years. He didn't come out of nowhere. Seemed like he came out of nowhere because you didn't see him. Like, well, so if you're not in LA, if you're not in LA, you're not going to know who he is because he's based out of there.
Well, what about online and shit?
So, but that's what I'm saying. One TikTok didn't always exist.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He's been doing comedy for a while before.
Yeah, before that. So, the TikTok thing, what he was able to do, where he probably got representation somewhere because he was on Wildin' Out. Some people don't know that, but he was on Wildin' Out for a while. That hunt for people that was Nick Cannon was looking for new funny people for a while. He didn't stay on it long, but he was just looking for that series. He was looking for new funny people, but he probably got hooked up with representation along that lines.
Yeah.
They probably went to one of his shows, recorded one of his shows, saw his crowd work aspect. The crowd work stuff was working.
Did you see the Russell Peters video talking about Matt Rife? But he was talking about how Matt Rife went up to him and he's like, "Hey man, it's like you hook me up with your agent, stuff like that." And so he told his agent, and Russell Peters' agent was like, "Nah, we're not interested." But yeah, now look at him.
But yeah, but that's I'm saying though, he got representation.
Yeah.
So I think to me overall the what is it, the crowd work stuff and like people seeing this crowd work stuff, I think it was a marketing ploy that blew up in his face. Yeah. Because at that point where there was a lot of folks doing crowd work, so essentially people say, well, it's the crowd work what people want. It's like, I don't think it's necessarily the crowd work what people want. It's a crowd work that kind of it's a certain interaction that people want. So I don't think it necessarily is the crowd work because everybody doing crowd work don't give you that interaction. So
it's also the reactions. You know, people are always like want to see reactions. To things.
And that's the thing. It's getting reactions out of like some crowd work works, some crowd work doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I think it was a marketing thing that got too big. But also it was the marketing thing to get him out there. It was a marketing thing to get him to sell out some of his shows. He sold out a lot of his shows. I mean, would those people come back after they seen his show? I don't know. It's up to them. Depending on how big of a fans they are. Yeah. Because once you get them sometimes. But it's almost one of those weird situations. It's like, so he was hot for a minute and kind of dialed off. And he probably said some stuff. But also that's what happens when you get too big too fast.
Yeah. It almost becomes like a one-hit wonder.
In some ways,
it can be. Yeah.
But I mean, it could be another strategy, another play as well too. We don't know.
Yeah. Market's the market. You never know.
And it's fun. Negativity is selling like hotcakes.
Oh yeah. Days. It's always selling. It's always been selling.
Yeah. Negativity when it's constantly moving. Even if you think stuff is stopping, it's constantly moving. Yeah. Constantly moving forward. So that's why I'm being more negative on myself by knocking myself from not doing these things I'm supposed to do, because if I'm more negative on that aspect of it, at least I can have the opportunity to turn it into a positive.
Interesting.
Instead of looking positive about like, okay, it's going to happen. It'll do this. It'll do that. And it's like, okay. And it's almost like I'm waiting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not necessarily waiting for something, but if I take a negative angle on myself on why I ain't doing this, why I ain't doing that, it should give me that spark to do more to get it. So that's kind of how I'm looking at that instead of looking at I'm trash. I am never going to be nothing. Oh my God.
Right.
So I've never done anything because, I don't know, because I've done a lot. It's just I forget it.
Yeah.
I move on from one thing to the other. And it's the next thing. And to be honest with you, it's a weird career or weird path because it's the next thing is the next thing.
Yeah.
And if you don't have too much stuff lined up, it
also depends on like how big of a step you want to take too. You know, I feel like you've been taking small increment growths. And there needs to be it's time for a big jump.
Yeah. And that's one of the things. I've been doing triple jump. I gotta just do a long jump. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm not gonna say long jump. I got to do either a high jump or I got to get a straight pole vault.
Yeah.
So it's like it's how you look at it. So, and I have plans, but I've been thinking about what I need to do to Oh.
It was a little cookie.
Like, but I've been thinking about what I need to do, and I've been putting those things into action. So, meeting with people. Also, this is another thing that I didn't really realize that people in business have coaches.
Yeah.
So it's
like mentors and shit like that. Yeah.
And I've never had one, other than someone that I'm watching that didn't know they were mentoring me. Right. So that's another one of those things. It's like, it might help me to get something to have somebody else to talk to. But I mean, I kind of did in certain places, but not really.
Yeah.
But I was like, but this is one of those stages. I was like, how do I get past this stage? But I mean, one of my friends is I'm kind of talking stuff out with them like that.
Right.
Looking at stuff different, looking at stuff bigger versus I'm broke. I mean, not broke, but I was like, but I'm broke because then the aspect of I've always been broke. Like I've always had this broke mentality. Growing up, always had this broke mentality. And if you always play off this broke mentality, it's not about getting, and sometimes it's not about not being broke. It's just about being able to live broke.
Yeah, telling yourself that you're broke versus just living a broke life, they're two different things.
Yeah.
And if you tell yourself that I'm always broke, I'm broke, blah, 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 you're going to live in that state of mind. But if you just live as like cheaply, right? Or you can think about it in wealthy terms also. Like wealthy people stay wealthy because they are cheap. Yeah. Right? So you can think of it, flip it that way instead.
But that's a crazy switch of the thought process, because wealthy people are living like broke people, but they're not broke. Right. And broke people don't even know living the way that they live can help them. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just saving, not doing certain things, but also putting a bigger price tag, but also, putting a bigger price tag on, like when I don't know, we didn't have money, a lot of money. So like someone's asked us, what do you want to make in a month? And I was like, enough? Like what is enough? And I'm I'm like, I don't know, nothing. Like, okay, I got this thing. It's like it's a bare minimum. It's not even like, which in certain jobs people make that in a week. Yeah, and that's the same. I'm like, okay, like, but I'm looking at it and I was like, well, double that. Yeah, well, it's like triple that, because you should be able to make $3,000 in a month, or at least $5,000. $5,000 in a month. It's doable. It's because people are doing it. Right. They got way more bills than me. You know what I'm saying? But people are doing it. So it's like just moving that ahead and moving up, adding zeros to certain things.
Yeah, I feel like that's hard for you.
No, it is.
I've gotten that over the years, is that it's hard for you to imagine that.
Yeah, because I don't know what it looks like. That's what I'm saying. That's the unknown. It's like, now I'm in that unknown there. I've been there for a long time. But now I'm in the unknown. It's like, I got to make money. Yeah. On my own. I'm like, now I got to make money. So now I got to figure out what that is. Right. In terms of that unknown. So, right.
Yeah, definitely. The big one is the agent, for sure. Yeah.
Because that's they know all that.
Yeah, they do, and they'll be able to put you in the right spots too. Yeah. Are you doing anything to help you be more comfortable with money? Like talking about big money, you know?
Yeah, I've been talking about it, but more recently, probably like in a month, like last 2 months, I've been talking about it more. But I don't really talk about it. Yeah. But I've just been talking about it more.
Yeah, you should talk about it more.
Thinking about it more.
Or like even just watching or listening to things that talk about having more money, or putting yourself in positions that way. Like, you know, like I'm a contractor at SAS, right? So I'm constantly hearing conversations of talking about millions and millions of dollars. And not just that, but like even me and my girl, like we sometimes talk about our future and like how financially stable we'll be, and like how the millions of dollars that we're gonna have and stuff like that, and be able to do all these things. So constantly putting your mind in the state of millions and millions of dollars, wealthy, it'll get you more comfortable talking about big money.
Yeah. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
So, like, I've been watching stuff. I've been putting stuff out there. Making the choice to have these conversations more.
Yeah. I do a lot of, I've been doing recently a lot of affirmations. And so like wealth affirmations and stuff like that.
I need to get it back on that because those affirmations do work.
I just listen to them in the car in the morning or something like that.
I had on that hoodie that I had to take off Bart Simpson. I should have like on my whiteboard. I should write. You know how the Simpsons.
Yeah.
He was writing on the chalkboard. I should write. I am gonna make X amount of money. I am gonna make X amount of money every day. First thing I do, write that down, or put it in a notebook.
Or I have
Yeah,
for sure. Exercise.
It is exercise. Exercise your mind.
That's right. You hear you first.
What's that noise? That's me exercising my mind.
Wow.
Sounds like something else, but
It sure does.
it's my mind. Because that's where those sounds come from anyway.
Yeah. So talking about the future, we talked a lot about, with the things that you need to do and are looking forward to and stuff like that. I think once you, honestly, I feel like once you make those big leaps, it's going to blow up on you, bro. That's what I think, like. And you'll be able to find a mentor through that.
Yeah.
Through that big leap.
That big leap. Say, hey, this is what you do.
Because like when you went to LA, when we went to LA for the first time, you performed at the Comedy Store. And who was it that was there?
Damon Wayans.
Yeah.
Damon Wayans was there. Anthony Anderson was there. Who else? Afion Crockett. Bruh-Man. Fifth Flow. But I mean, there was a lot of black comedic stars in the building.
Yeah.
It was produced, put on by the American Black Film Festival.
Right.
So shout out Zaynab Johnson. She won it that year. She's doing her thing.
Yeah.
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 I had to put it in there so they say, I know people.
I got some names. That's So how does it feel to work crowds with celebrities in them?
That one was nerve wracking.
Yeah. Well, has it happened before? I mean, after that?
I don't know, because I don't know who's in the room most of the time. I mean, I went back over there and this past year, but not too many. When I did roast battle, but not too many like celebrities were in the room.
Was roast battle with
Jeff Ross?
Jeff Ross?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was there. He was there.
He was there.
He was there. It was his birthday. Well, we got roasted by them. But no, like it was like a. I was telling somebody about it. It was. I don't know when I say they set us up, but also we came all the way from North Carolina to do the roast battle. They thought we came all the way to North Carolina to do the roast battle. To them, the roast battle ain't nothing special.
Right.
So, but my boy RJ, shout out RJ, he's from out there. So he knew somebody that I had to connect to get us both on it, to get him on it, and he asked me to be on it. And we wrote stuff together. Like, they thought it was funny because most people that do the roast battle don't like each other or they're not friends.
Yeah.
But we were friends. We still are. And I don't know, we didn't really roast each other. We joked each other. We had jokes, but we didn't really go in like really, really roast.
Yeah.
And it was just, when it's your first time doing it, you're kind of set up to get roasted.
Yeah,
a lot of times it's just almost like a rite of passage type thing. But it was funny because Jeff Ross was leading the charge, and once I think Brian Moses, once he asked, he said, "Why y'all do this?" And I do. So yeah, he's one of the hardest working comics out, and North Carolina. I just wanted to bring him out here, like show him some, like just introduce him like to people and stuff like that. And then Jeff felt like he was like, oh shit. He literally immediately the roast stopped. They stopped roasting us because of that, because it wasn't on. I mean, it won't. And again, it won't bad, but also it's first thing, and we won't cutting to the core like everybody else was going to do.
Yeah, it was heartfelt.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, there it is.
There's like they can literally tell we were friends instead of being like, okay, even if y'all not, act like y'all not friends, but they can tell we were friends.
Right. Is that something you're gonna go back out there for?
Oh yeah, because I wanted to roast. I want it.
You want it?
Yeah, I want to roast.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. That's my boy.
I wanted to roast, so I'll be back.
Holding that title.
and I'll roast somebody else because I can't roast. That's the thing. I can't roast. Yeah. It's just I don't know. I don't practically if they caught me fresh out of high school roast battle. Oof. I've been totally because that's all I did. I was an asshole, and I utilize my asshole as much as possible. That's funny. No, pause. All right, I utilize my asshole as much as possible, even when I was shitting, even when I won't shit. Anyway, but no, I was meaner then.
Yeah,
I specifically told myself I kind of like dial back my mean, which I think that's one. I wish I still had it though. It's hard to get back once you dial it back.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where you have to like practice, right?
Yeah,
because it's like freestyling almost. Right, you got to practice it.
Yeah, so I dialed it back and kind of wish I didn't, but no, I'm glad I did. But yeah, I wish I can just easily tap into it. Which I could if I just figure it out.
I think that has to do with opening yourself up, right? Maybe.
You mean opening myself up?
Like
I think, but I think in order to open myself up, then I gotta allow myself to like, okay, he is an asshole.
I mean, with the roast battle, you got to go there, right?
Yeah. So, but doing that again, like the more I roast, the more I probably roast or think about that, I'll get that back because we just did it all the time. Me and my boys. I mean, this is something we did in practice, something we did on the bus. Yeah, we did at lunch. We did it all the time. So I can tell you the last time I did it. Yeah, like that. So other than those shows,
right. Well, thanks for coming on the show, bro. It was fun.
This was fun. Again.
Yeah.
I felt like we didn't talk about nothing, but we did talk about stuff.
We talked about a lot of stuff. Do you want to talk about something else?
No, I'm good.
That was a very quick answer.
I'm good. What you trying to say? What you trying to say? What you trying to get me to talk about?
I'm trying to talk about your life, man.
No, I don't want to talk about my life, man. Give me an agent. Okay? Then we'll talk, man. Then we'll talk. We'll get down to the nitty gritty. I don't know why. Zip zap,
well, I'm looking forward to what happens in the next 5 years. It'd be interesting to see.
Yes, it will. It will
be very interesting.
Looking forward to myself,
but I have high hopes.
I have extremely low hopes.
That's a problem.
I know. See, right back. See,
that's right. We got to talk about it.
It's that broke mentality.
Okay. Do you still get into like a state of, I don't know, giving up? Since you've been doing it for so long?
I do. I don't say giving up. I just, because I don't give up. I just get into states of the pauses. I call them pauses. Because I stop. So like whenever I don't know what the next thing is, I'm like it's kind of like it's like a state of limbo almost. It's like I'm just stuck on this thing for right now until I figure it out. If I had an agent, I would have more shows booked.
Sure.
So it's easy to go from one thing to the other. But also once you start building up steam and going through so that's like the next thing is once the agent comes, now I can travel more freely and actually get to know people in other places, which that's going to create more material naturally because I'm going to be constantly going to different places. It's hard to put myself in that situation now because like in terms of what I can afford, and it's like, all right, well, I can only afford to travel one place out of this month.
Yeah.
Because I'm not getting that much off of it. I mean, I guess if I make some merch, but also it's different. It's like they're gonna tax me on the merch money. That's what I'm saying. Let me get the other money. Like, I'm already gonna pay taxes anyway if you're making us X amount of money anyway. So
yeah.
I don't need more stuff to come in, but I do know how you make your money. But also, once you get that agent and you can like start getting their stuff, and you have like, okay, now I'm in this tax bracket. Do well, then go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Do well, then go to the next one.
Yeah.
So it's like that's constantly an attainable goal.
Yeah.
Something. It's gonna be very rare that it's like, okay, I'm gonna be in this bracket, and then the next one I'm at the highest level of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that does happen, I was like, damn it, this didn't work out. Now I'm still stuck again.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take some time for me to get there,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the experience. But it is what it is. But
Yeah.
But no, there's states of limbo. A lot that happens. Mostly just me thinking.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool, man. So I guess that's it.
That's it.
Why don't you tell everybody where they can find your ass?
Okay, you can find me. I got a website. My website is Matt White Comedy. I'm trying to switch it over to mattinwhite.com. But it's matwhitecomedy.com right now. On Instagram is Matt Ain't White. On TikTok, it's Matt Ain't White. You can just find me on those little aspects. On my website, though, I might actually start putting more of my sketch stuff on it, videos section. And Matt White Comedy, you can find me on YouTube, too. I'm probably going to start doing more stuff with that as well. Trying to do more sketch work, trying to put myself out there, trying to get on TVs, trying to get on TVs. Boy, I got...
Oh, look at that face. Oh, it's a diamond face.
It's magic.
You know.
But so that's what I'm looking to do. Trying to get on TV more. But yeah, that's where you can follow me at. Cool. Instagram, trying to get the 5,000. Once I get those 5,000 followers, help me get to 5,000 on IG. Ain't got that many. I ain't got that anymore. I got 48,000.
Wow.
For close to 49. It's close. Probably need like maybe 97 people.
Yeah, there you go.
No, just give me 97.
Boom.
5,000.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.